Hi, and we are live on Facebook again. So thank you for joining me. Today I am going to be talking about dealing with your ex. Do any of you have a difficult ex? Especially if you have kids and you're forced to deal with your ex. I know with the holidays coming up, you have to figure out where the kids are going. You have to talk to your ex and handle that with them. So what's the best way to go about doing that? And that's what I want to share with you today. And I do have 5 tips that I'll be giving out for dealing with your ex. So if this is your first time joining me, this is live video, by the way. Welcome, my name is Jessica Madsen, and I am doing just some series of videos talking about my experiences. I have been a single mother now for 8 years, and I feel like some of this is kind of old hat, right? I've gotten it down, so I thought I would do videos to share my experiences with everyone else here. So that's what we're gonna be doing. So welcome. And I would love for you to, if you like my videos, please share them and also click like, and you can turn on your notifications. So welcome. So hi Courtney, welcome thanks for joining me today. I am going to be talking about dealing with your ex. So what is the first thing that you should always do? Anytime you have to call your ex or text them or any kind of communication you have to do with your ex, you should always stay calm. All right, now, this is easier said than done. Okay, trust me, when it comes to exes, I have one of the more challenging ones. I'm trying to say it nicely, right? I do have a more challenging situation. So, it can be very, very tempting when you get on the phone call or you get on a text with your ex to be like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And just, to be very mad. I mean, they're your ex for a reason, right? You're not with them anymore, probably because they did something to make you mad. So for some reason, y'all aren't working out. So that can cause a lot of emotion a lot of times. So the first thing you always want to do is stay calm. Now, easier said than done, but how do you practically do this? So for me, anytime I know I have to call my ex, I kind of have to prepare myself beforehand. I almost have to mentally think in my mind that something bad is going to happen. I know, it sounds terrible, right? But you have to just expect that your ex is going to get mad at you. That is honestly one of the best way to deal with it, because if you're expecting it, if you're expecting him or her to lash out at you or have these emotions coming at you, you can kind of handle it better. You're like, oh, well, I expected that, right? So, all right, so first thing we want to do is stay calm, and if you prepare yourself ahead of time, that's always the easiest way to do that, okay? The second thing you want to do always, and this is what I would recommend in any relationship, but especially when dealing with your ex, is speak the truth in love, okay? So what does that mean? First of all, you need to tell them the truth, right? There are things that you always need to tell them. If you don't like something that they're doing, you need to say it. But you need to say it in a way where you can speak the truth in love. So, meaning, I don't want to say things like, you did this and you did that, right? That's very accusatory. When I'm speaking the truth in love, I'm using language where I'm saying things about how I feel. I feel bad when you call me names, or when we yell all the time and can't talk about the children, all right? That is something I would highly recommend. Speak the truth in love. It's good for any relationship, but especially when dealing with your ex, you need to talk to them on a level to where they know you're telling them the truth, but you're saying it in a way that is not making them put up their guard, right? When someone comes at you and says, you did this to me and you did that and I don't like the way you are treating this and blah, 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 right? Whatever they're saying, you kind of immediately put up your guard and you go, no, back off. What are you talking about, right? So whenever you speak the truth in love, you're saying a way that, you know what, you're putting it back on yourself in a way, but you're saying, I feel this way when you raise your voice or something along those lines. So when you're saying, putting it back on you and saying, this is the way that I feel, that can maybe help kind of smooth the transition just a little bit, smooth things out. The saying is good, catch more flies with honey, right? But it's always kind of a good thing. And it's real easy to get emotionally charged, but when you're speaking the truth in love and you're saying it in such a way to where you're not accusing them, but you're still telling them how it is that you feel, that can be a good kind of buffer in different ways to sort of deal with your ex in that regard. So that's something that I've always done. The other thing I would always say is, don't talk negative, right? This is when you're talking to your ex. You don't want to, say too much that's really negative. Again, you're going to put them off. But also when you're speaking to other people, especially if it's people that you share jointly in your life, you don't want to sit there and bash your ex. Now, this includes your children. Do not talk negatively ever to your children about your ex. It doesn't matter what they did or what they're doing. That is just that your children are going to love both of their parents. And if your ex is a certain way, they're going to figure it out. You won't have to tell them at all, right? My ex is always late picking up my son, always, like clockwork. I do not have to tell him that, though. He kind of figures it out, right? I don't have to say, well, I can't believe your father does this and your father does that. No, I just say, I'm sure your father is busy. And guess what? He goes, oh, I know, Mom. My dad is always late, right? He knows. The children will figure it out. You do not have to say anything bad. But also, even when it comes to speaking with mutual friends, don't talk negatively. That's always going to get back to your ex in some form or another. And then be careful how you speak to your closest friends and family. So this is something that I kind of noticed as well. This is not as much to deal with your ex, but it is in a way. When I have my own family and I'm talking to them and I'm telling them all the negative things that my ex did, and I'm talking to my best friend and I'm telling her all the negative things that my ex did, I do sometimes want to be cautious about what I say or exactly how I say it. And the reason for that is, what if that person ever has to deal with my ex, right? Sometimes that happens. Like I'm a single parent, so sometimes my child is with my parents or my friends, and my ex is having to pick them up from their house, right? So that can color or tint the way that your ex has to deal with those people in your lives as well. So that's just a little something that I kind of like to throw in there just to kind of be careful about. It can really make a difference in your overall relationship with your ex. So we've got a lot of people that are joining in. Thanks everyone for joining. So has anyone else had any trouble like dealing with an ex? Anybody have any questions or any personal experiences you want to share? Please feel free to like comment them or share them out, because I would love to know what kind of personal experiences you've had. So, all right. I have a doorbell, right, that just rang. So that's someone at the door. But there are a couple of other things that I did want to talk about. So unfortunately, I think I have to go get that. So I'm going to have to do a part 2 to this video. But stay tuned. I'll be getting to the second part shortly. Thank you. Bye-bye.